The best album from 1998 would in fact be Rancid. Life Won't Wait, bro. I got something to show you, dude.
That's it.
I may have told you I was getting this, but I got the cassette with the cigarette pack.
Yes.
Want to see something cool though? I got two.
Oh, nice.
Because I got one that's in like phenomenal shape that I was going to keep, and then this one I was going to take to the shop. But you don't have a tape deck though, huh?
No.
Okay. I was going to say it would figure something out, but yeah, Life Won't Wait, dude. Rancid, Life Won't Wait is one of the most important records of my entire life that will never change based solely upon when it came out, because that was the last thing that my dad got me before he passed away. It was that record. He got me a stack of CDs for Christmas that year. He got me Bouncing Souls, Life Won't Wait, The Gadgets, and then something else. But it was 4 records, and he passed away in January of '99. But there's so many songs that are so important for so many reasons outside of my personal stuff that it just amplifies it when I start thinking about my dad. And like this tattoo on my throat is placed there on purpose. I would get another one of these skulls tattooed on me somewhere else because I like this record so much. Yeah, man. I don't know. Go ahead, talk.
Oh, it's an amazing album. Now, when I did my official Rancid rankings, I put it kind of low, and I realized that was just not the right place for it, but like the only place for it. Not because it's a bad record, because I think it's just the most unique record in Rancid's like entire catalog. It's sort of just it's just not on the track of everything else. Like you can say that a little bit about all of them, but no, this one is very specifically different. And I remember the narrative at the time was like Rancid was kind of reactive, I think, in the late 90s after all, because literally they just blow up with Let's Go. Like people think of Outcome the Wolves when they blew up. People don't realize, no, Outcome the Wolves was a response to them blowing up. The name Outcome the Wolves is because they were pursued like wolves.
Dude, nobody ever thinks about that.
And even in my head, I had the great records of 94, like Pumpkin Drublick and Dookie. And sometimes I say Outcome the Wolves, and we've been dissing on Let's Go a lot, but it's Let's Go. Let's Go was Rancid's entry. It just happened the next year they followed it up with like their best work.
It wasn't that we were dissing on the record, it's that it got them where they needed to be, and then they became better musicians. Like that's when they became Rancid, but then they really became Rancid with Outcome the Wolves. I keep hearing all these edgelords talk about, the best Rancid materials, all the 3 EPs they did before '93. Shut up. That is not their best material, dude. That is so stupid. 93 is not their best album. The EPs aren't their best material. And 2000 is not their best material. Stop. Like, that's ridiculous. Those are objectively not their best songs. Are they good? I can even admit that 2000 is a good record because clearly it is if that many people like it, right?
Yeah.
But, like, that's not their best music. Objectively speaking, you can go in there and point out reasons why that music isn't as good as stuff from And Out Come the Wolves, Life Won't Wait, Dominoes, Indestructible. Like, just because it's more punk rock or it's more dirty or lo-fi or whatever it is that these super punk kids want to talk about, that stuff drives me nuts, bro. Like,
well, it's dumb too to do that. Like, think about this, especially in the context of this album. This is the most underground album they have. If you you have to actually do your research to understand what the hell is going on this album. That's what's funny about it. And here's the other thing too. And it's funny about 2000 is 2000 actually should be the oddball album and not this one, because
it's so weird.
This is you have, if we want to put Outcome the Wolves as their peak, well, because it pulls a little bit of Let's Go and pulled a little bit of Life Won't Wait. Life Won't Wait's what got spit out after. And so it's a sequel to Outcome the Wolves. It's just one of those weird sequels that doesn't get shown in the same theaters and only the real heads know about. That's what this is, because it took actually the parts that were improved upon from Let's Go to Life Won't Wait. It took those little elements, those ska parts and some of the slower punk and stuff like that. And then they put a whole record of that. And instead of going poppy, or instead of doing what they did in 2000 of like, we'll prove everyone wrong for talking crap about us, we'll try to let our nuts show, they just went this was to me more rebellious. It's like, let's go all the way into this and let's make a record that is truly a punk record, but you kind of forget it's a punk record because the songs are so good and so diverse, and there's so many different types of songs on one record. And it's the one Rancid road punk rock record we've talked about tonight that's too long, and you still kind of want a little bit more after because the songs are so good. It's been a criticism in the past of mine that it's a little long, and it is objectively because I believe it's their longest album, but it's totally worth a sit through. Like you don't regret having sat through it.
Every song on it's good. I think that when they went in to do Life Won't Wait, they were not concerned about anything. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like when they went in there to write this record, that they were like, let's make the best record we can make, and let's not concern ourselves with pigeonholing our band into a genre. Because it's got rocksteady, it's got dub, it's got reggae, it's got ska, it's got punk, it's got street punk, it's got rock and roll. I mean, it's got everything that anybody that's us, anybody from our circles, anything you could want to hear is on that one album. There is no other album that exists like this to me. This shows you what kind of geniuses these dudes are. Because these same people also wrote Out Come the Wolves. They also wrote 2000. They also wrote Lars and the Bastards. They also wrote the Transplant stuff. So they also wrote stuff for Pink and Britney Spears. And like the Interrupters came from this man's brain. Like
Green Day, so they collaborated with.
Yeah, dude. So like this record, while maybe not their best and maybe not my favorite, it is their greatest achievement. It's stuff that when you go, this is the one that non-punk rockers go, dude, no, Life Won't Wait, man. You got to listen to this. You got to put it on record. You got to listen to it on vinyl. Got to sit down, turn the volume up not lo-fi, excuse me, audiophile type guys. No, man, listen to all this stuff. They went and recorded it in Jamaica. They did some in New York. They did some in LA. Dude, they never done that before or since. Like, their stuff is not like that. This is you can't replicate this. Dude, this is Dark Side of the Moon. This is Master of Puppets. This is Nevermind. This is, this is that, dude. That's what this is.
Yes, it's it's kind of the same way. Like, I think a lot of film directors, and I can't name one off the top of my head, they have like the movie that everyone likes that they're known for, but then they have the movie that they like, and it's usually the one that the critics don't like because it's a little indulgent, kind of like this, because it is very specific to them, and what they would like, what they would do. Now, there is the theory that I believe the band was not quite clicking like together as much in this time period, and that is why Life Won't Wait and 2000 are so drastically different than everything else. That it was a lot of Tim writing the songs, which definitely, if that's the case, that would make sense for Life Won't Wait, because Life Won't Wait of all the Rancid albums would be closest to like a Tim side project. Just in
that sounds the most like Tim Armstrong to me,
right? Whereas maybe 2000 the dynamic was different and they went with Lars. Like that also, I'm purely speculating, but I can see that as well. Not that Lars is out of place on this, and not like Tim's out of place on a hardcore punk album.
Dude, there's beautiful music on this record, man. Like I might listen. I'm fixing to go to the store here in a minute. I gotta go pick up something. I'm gonna listen to this record. I think this is what I'm gonna listen to.
I just remembered, and I'm like, I don't go way back on vinyl. I go back like a couple years on vinyl. This is the first album I bought, though. Very specific. Really? I just remembered that, and it was so cool because there's two of them, because it's so long, so you got to flip it, and the casing is really good to it. But the whole reason why I finally like bought vinyl is like, all right, let me hear what as you're saying, the audio guys are talking about with the sound. So specifically, I got this album because I only had enough money after I bought the turntable for one album, and it was this one. It's orange. It's got the little orange color. I don't have a good spot for my vinyls now. I don't have the
records.
Records,
sir. Vinyls are not a word.
You've been correcting me on a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's the exact pressing.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Orange one. Yeah, that's first.
No, the only thing I'm serious about correcting
I ever owned.
The only thing I'm serious about correcting you on is the vinyl, sir. That makes me sad. I'm just, dude, I'm sorry, I'm grumpy. But check this one out. I haven't opened it because it's a I think 4 LP set. I think it's the 20th anniversary or something. But it's got a nice big ding in the corner, which makes me really sad. So I may try to replace it one of these days, but it's kind of expensive.
That was on all my notebooks in school, by the way, because
dude, I love it.
Like I'm awesome. I can't draw like you can. And Rancid doesn't ever really had like a logo except for that one, because to me their logo is the Rancid font,
The
like,
Rancid thing, yeah.
or it's like the Out Come the Wolves pose or that kind of, you know what I mean? But
Right, they have a bunch of logos. It's like their name is their real logo, but as far as
but
their
I couldn't
little
nothing I can really write on my notebook. And so
yeah, as far as the
that
symbol is concerned, it's
that
this.
life won't wait. Like there was nothing to hang out next to Milo and hang out next to everything else on my notebooks. Like that was it.
Somebody told me that that's a painting or a piece of artwork or graffiti somewhere that wasn't
Mm.
meant for them to use on their record. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's on my throat forever. So, whatever.
It's up there with the most tattooed Rancid, and that's where I've really explored this idea a lot because looking
Yeah.
up Rancid tattoos, they're kind of a hard band to get a tattoo of because they don't have. They got great imagery, but not quite stuff that fits tattoos. Just one of the great legacies
The
of this
fist
album.
is a good tattoo.
Yeah, that's I think the standard one. I forgot about that one.
What
Dude, this album has a song called 1998. It had to be number one, and it's a pretty damn good song.
I didn't
But
even consider that, bro.
but Leicester Square. Can we just start there? Holy shit, I love that song. That one to me is just, I got some hard times, two punks upon the subway. It's a
Yeah,
long way to go.
just
Yeah. Come on.
that's a great song, actually.
The Wolf.
That's a really good. The Wolf is probably my favorite one.
I love the front side. I have no problem with. I mean, you got New Dress. You have another one. I'll save for a minute for us to talk about. You have you have Hooligans. I mean, come on. How you not get lost in Hooligans and Rude Boys?
Hooligans is a good song. I like
but the back half of the album is just unstoppable to me once you hit that back half, all the way to the very last song.
Bro, the more I look at it, the more I don't think there is a stoppable point on this, dude. I love all of this. Corazon de Oro, Coppers,
That's what I was thinking.
Something in the World Today. Turntable is so good.
Lady Liberty.
Talk about Lars Fredrickson and the Bastards.
Rock style, yeah.
But Cash Culture and Violence with Dickie Barrick. Come on.
That one has like that cool, yeah.
Dude, we're so nerding out for this record, bro.
You know which ones I don't like as much, and it's funny, and maybe I just heard them too much, is Corazon de Oro and the other love song. What's the other? Who Would Have Thought? Like, I think they're good. They're just, those songs I think could have been on other Rancid records, and they sound a little bit less like Life Won't Wait.
We are disagreeing a lot tonight, dude. Who Would Have Thought is like a top Rancid song for me.
But, and again, New Dress. I love New Dress. I love the song Life Won't Wait. Blood Clot is famous.
Actually, the title track's probably my least favorite song on the album.
Makes sense. I get that.
Yeah, it's like, it's good, but it's not like blow my hair back good. It's not a skip or anything. Does your arm hair go up when you hear Hoover Street?
There's
a lot of Rancid music that makes my arm hair go up.
That one specifically, though.
Hoover Street is a great song.
And then, like, when I was a kid, because I had this, someone burned this for me. Someone burned Life. I don't remember who. They burned this for me, and they gave me the CD case of 2000 of the 93. So I thought Life Won't Wait was the cover of 93 for like 6 months. As I
Interesting.
And,
that's awesome.
And I was like, that was a weird song. Like, I thought Hoover Street was weird. I kept listening. And then they played it live one of the times I saw them. And
it was really?
So cool, because it's almost like beat poetry. You know what I mean? The way it's.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm listening to something real quick. I got to remember. Let's see. It's very. Okay, yeah. Okay, I was making sure I was listening to the right track. Yeah, Hoover Street is.
Yeah.
It starts off kind of fast and then it slows down.
Yeah, it'll hit its little crescendos, but it's really Tim. Oh, like if Tim was a solo artist, I'd assume it, and he became like a pop star, that would have been his hit song into the weird ass genre.
Yeah, that song was really, really good. I was like, I'm trying to remember the like.
Yeah, it's the story of the crack house and
yeah.
And there's a great narrative. And we talked about this before. Rancid's strength. When I said I don't go for them for lyrics, and then I clarified, go for them for stories, almost like for entertainment.
I was gonna say there's a million stories in this album that
this album has so many, and like for me, I found this in about 2001, 2002, where it's like I loved Wolves, but Wolves seems so much more frivolous compared to like this album. This album is like the hard reading because of the stories. There's a lot more depth to it. I feel like in the lyrical content too. It's very dark. It's very political. Probably their most political album, I think, in a way.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
What I like about Rancid is that you can, any kind of mood you're in, they've got an album for you.
And this is what you're thinking. You listen to Life Won't Wait when you're thinking.
If I'm having a bad day, I can throw this record on, it'll change my whole shit, dude. Like, what I think is funny is that like 6 years after this came out, Green Day tried to make one like this, and it got more acclaim and it sold more records, but I don't think it's the same quality when they did American Idiot.
You're talking about American Idiot?
Yeah, because I feel like that like if you could parallel the bands at all, I think that that's when Green Day did something that was like this, is with that album. But it's like, man,
Yeah,
Rancid already did this with this like big spectacular record that took some risks and like was political, and
they're
Green
like
Day did it.
opera. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
Green
you.
Day did
Yeah,
it
I never.
later, and it's like, man, Rancid did that 6 years ago, fellas. Not that there's anything wrong with Green Day doing it whenever they wanted to do it. Like they're different bands, but I remember when Green Day came out with American Idiot. I remember thinking like, oh, this is like their version of Life Won't Wait. I know it's a
Hmm.
very weird comparison to
I
make because they don't
no,
have
because
like ska tracks on it, but it's like,
I love American Idiot because of like Jesus Suburbia is like 15 minutes long. And it's funny
yeah,
because like it is the vibe though of Life Won't Wait. I
yeah.
understand where that connection, absolutely how you made that connection. I had no idea where you were going there for a second. I was like, when did
I
Green
know.
Day release a Life Won't
I was
Wait?
like trying. I was like trying to like make it make sense to the way it makes
But
sense to me in
it's
my head.
yeah, it makes total
But
sense now. And here's another thing on that same sort of thread. It's like their ska. If you say it's like their ska record, it's funny because there's a lot less, I would say, Operation Ivy on this record than there was on the previous records as well.
I don't consider this their ska record at all. That would be probably. I don't really consider them having ska records. Do they have like a couple of ska songs?
But
But
what?
they're like
Okay,
not really a ska band.
you,
They're a
you think
punk
on the
band.
ska spectrum though, what this would be the furthest? But I don't know. I'm trying to think because it's almost
No, if I had to pick
it's
a record that
well,
had the
no,
most
what would
ska,
be?
I would.
Was it Whoops?
Yeah, it'd have to be.
Because all the hits on Wolves, like when they're all
That's supposed
ska
to say
songs.
Time Bomb
Yeah,
specifically, like just because of
so,
Time Bomb, like
even Ruby Soho was a ska song. Like all
yeah, and
the
then
kind of
and
beat
then
and
like
rhythm.
the old it's kind of a ska song.
All the Matt Freeman stuff is all ska. Like it's all ska. Yeah, that's the specials plus punk is Outcome the
I
Wolves.
wish I could have been around them just to sit and watch while they were creating Life Won't Wait.
This feels more like, and I don't know this. Like I said, it could have been Tim controlled or Tim and Matt being like, okay, we didn't quite do Dance Hall Crashers. Let's find a version of that to do within Rancid, because really like Dance Hall
I don't think
Crashers
it was that.
was supposed to be like their Rocksteady album. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
but I
and then
don't
now
think
you
it
have
was like
like dubstep.
intentional. I think they just sat down and wrote music because that's what this sounds like, dude. Because it's so weird and eclectic. I think that
But
they were just like, "Hey, I want to try this sound," and then they wrote a song around it. Hey, let's try this, and then they wrote a song around it. Hey, I got this topic I want to cover. It just doesn't sound like they did anything. It sounds very organic. That's the word I was looking for. It sounds
right.
organic from front to back, and I don't think that going, let's go make a dance hall crashers type of album would have been organic at all. That would have been forced,
It's
in my opinion.
it's also it's here's what's funny about it. It's also pre Rancid 2000, which gave the band a bit of a reputation as a different type of band than they actually were.
Yeah.
So think about how they're even thought of in like mainstream culture when Wolves comes out. You know what I mean? Not by people like who would have been you and I, but just by
Okay.
like your brother who worked at the radio station or something like that.
Yeah.
You
Punk
probably
rockers.
you don't even really, but I'm saying if you heard Rancid, you're not really interacting with them. Punk rock is not what you're thinking of straight out of hand. If you're guy watching 120 minutes who's just like, see, that I'm talking about a more generic person who would have found the Outcome the Wolf songs because of how big that album got. If you heard Life Won't Wait, it would make sense to you, right? That would be their next album.
Yeah, I guess so.
Versus the person like you or I who comes up with Operation Ivy and then
Yeah.
Let's Go, and then now we have the context of 2000. And it's like no, Rancid and punk are so synonymous. If you are, so there's even maybe a negative reading, which I don't think is the case. Like, oh, did they think they were going to get rich because they got so much acclaim off of some of the ska they put on Wolves? I don't think so. They treated themselves as rock stars because it's an indulgent album, the way like Metallica makes the Black Album, and there's 300 different bass tracks on the one song. That was kind of what they did here. Again,
You
they
thought
probably
this
had a
was
bit.
an indulgent album?
Yeah, I think so. It's their longest album. It's got their most different stuff they have, right? Like compare that to like what they just put out a few months ago, where that's just some guitars and some drums. They're bringing in horns. They're bringing in all these guests.
Yeah, but I don't think it's indulgence. I think it's risk taking.
But yeah, but it doesn't go with the kind of minimalism that Rancid does on all their other stuff, right? Rancid pares stuff down on all their other albums, with the exception of Life Won't Wait. Yeah,
because I think of Dominoes not like that. I don't think of Indestructible like that. Those are very unique albums with lots of different sounds.
A lot of production. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think on the spectrum, though,
and I also see what you're saying too. I think it's kind of in the middle somewhere.
This one feels like the most. I know you said they didn't set out to plan it. Maybe they didn't, but there's like a lot of planning though into these songs. I think clearly. I don't know.
Well, there's definitely like orchestrated sounds. Like it wasn't like they just
yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm saying. Whereas all their other albums, they felt you could tell me that this version did not start out as punk rock songs, and I would believe you. Versus the
Okay.
other albums, and I know Tim just writes everything on an acoustic, so
I
it
was gonna
doesn't
say
really
that none of
matter.
their songs really start out as punk rock songs necessarily,
But I think like that you could see the skeletons a little clearer, where it's like,
yeah.
oh no, Rancid kind of punked up these songs, which could have been these songs in the hands of another band could have been a completely different type of album. I think it is still that punk rockness of Rancid to give you Blood Clot and New Dress in 1998.
I think you're probably right about that.
To sort of hammer it all in. And then the last song. Can we just talk about the last song where Lars is just shouting people out like it's a hip hop record from 1998?
I love that.
I love it. I've listened to that so many. So speaking of Sublime, the first time I ever heard that was the end of the 40 Ounce of Freedom record, where Bradley just does that, and that's where he shouts out Bad Religion. And I've listened to that 1,000 times, and I've listened to this. I love when bands do it, and when they have like the charisma of a Lars to kind of hold your attention as he's shouting out all the people that are featured on the album. It's like the credit section of an album, but the audible version.
I hate to cut this short. I do got to run here in a minute. Let's go over each of our lists individually real quick.
Okay.
This has been a long podcast, which normally would be amazing, and I love the long ones. But I do have to run to the store before they close because it's kind of an important purchase. I got to buy a washing machine because ours is on the fritz. I know, dude. It's all right. I built my wife a new table in the washroom today, and I fixed the dryer. So I'm looking really good right now. I want to go knock this out the park, get that washer, and make my wife super, super thrilled, man. That's my lady, dude. I want to make her happy. Okay, so what are your top 5 albums from 1998, sir?
So, God damn it. Let's talk about Feelings.
Wait, hold on. Who say the band and then the title of the album, sir?
God damn it, by Alkaline Trio. Let's talk about Feelings by Lagwagon. Hitler Bad, Vandals Good by the Vandals. Less than Rockview. Welcome to Rockview by Less Than Jake.
Less Than Rockview.
And Life Won't Wait by Rancid. Glad I didn't say Life Won't Rancid because I was on that track.
Less Than Rockview by Hello Jake.
Get the shirt. Yeah.
Dude, that would be a cool shirt. All right, my top 5 records from 1998 are The Unseen, Lower Class Crucifixion, Dropkick Murphys, Do or Die, excuse me. What was the third one that I had? One Man Army, Dead End Stories is probably my favorite out of the year in hindsight. Then we have Less Than Jake, Hello Rockview, and Rancid, Life Won't Wait. It's very, very, very close between Life Won't Wait and Dead End Stories. I think it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm more somber, I want to hear Life Won't Wait. If I'm feeling like throwing on some sunglasses and driving down the road, I'm going to put on Dead End Stories.
I think I have Life
Won't Wait. Dead End Stories? Is it Dead End Stories or is it...
It's got to be Dead End Stories because they've only got 3.
Yeah, it is Dead End Stories. I'm tripping, dude.
See, and I would have Life Won't Wait. I think over time it's held its position. I think as like it's a S tier as he would do in tiers, and then everything else comes below. Recently, I would, and then God damn it would be the one I would have right under it.
Yeah,
and then everything else could kind of put in the soup and figure it out.
The MXPX record, Murder City Devils, the Gadgets, Dillinger 4, Against All Authority.
We didn't even talk about some good stuff, yeah.
Dude, there's we could do a whole nother version of this video, but yeah, dude, I think that yeah. I don't know what you want to talk about next week, but
NoFX, right? We're gonna do a NoFX album.
Okay, I knew we had it already figured out.
Yeah.
Okay, so next, what topic are we gonna cover?
Well, we're doing the NoFX album ranking, right?
So we're doing so we're ranking all of their albums, or are we doing like a top 5?
No, we're doing like a top 5.
Okay, that's way better, I think.
They have way too many albums for each.
I was gonna say, dude, we might start this at like noon and end at midnight.
Yeah.
Okay, in a few weeks, I would like to do like a top 10 combined, mine and yours, I guess top 5 essentially. Top 10 with the two of us, punk rock record labels.
Okay.
Just because I think that'd be a fun conversation.
Yeah, and I think we'll have a lot of different ones, but we'll get to talk about a lot of labels.
That's what I was thinking, is that we could talk about all these, and that one we might have to start at like 6:30 if we can, 6 o'clock if there's a way to do it. Yeah, because that's probably gonna be a long video.
It'll be kind of a history lesson, I think, for both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna know more about it than I do. My memory's bad enough to where I remember things, but I don't remember details. So
yeah.
But dude, this has been a freaking awesome podcast, man. I had so much fun with you, dude.
This was a blast. This is probably the fun. Like, we had deeper conversations. This was the most so many hot takes. I think we just threw out there.
It was just so much
meaningful
fun.
hot takes, but it was because we were in the spirit and it was fun.
Yeah, well, lots of laughing, lots of good times, and that's what we're all about over here on both of our channels. Is entertainment, but also doing it and having a good time. Because if you're not enjoying yourself, why are you here? That would suck, man. So, but man, if you haven't already done so, go check out his channel, The Punk Aughts. Go check out my podcast with Pete Parada. Good grief, dude. I just can't talk today. Looks like I got Brian from Death Before Dishonor coming on pretty soon. I should have Catbite on pretty soon. A lot of stuff I'm working on, man. I'm working really hard to bring really good guests to the channel and just talk. I just did one with my buddy Rob to Live from Will to Live fame. It looks like we're going to have some more Houston guys on pretty soon too. So yeah, man, thank you for watching the channel and the videos. I appreciate it. I'll have a whole bunch of little clips on this one. I haven't done clips in a while, bro. It's been a hot minute since I've done a bunch of clip videos from our podcast.
It's gonna be fun from this one. So we
dude,
we have a good Charlotte clip we just made.
I wrote that down because I was like, this is gonna make people so mad and it's gonna be so funny. That's yeah. Also, the No Effects one should do pretty well, I would imagine, with clips. And the record label one, dude. The next few videos that we do are probably going to be really good for clips. I'll send you this one tomorrow. I'm assuming you got the video from the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. I'm trying to stay on top of it. I know you're probably just stockpiling this stuff, but I'm trying to stay on top of it. So at least you have the content to do with what you want.
I'm just looking for an open weekend, and I'm gonna start putting this up as like just podcasts.
Well, if there's any way that I can help with anything, let me know.
Yeah, I will for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We love you guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channels, both of them. Save them, dude. Share them, clip them. I don't give a shit, man. Let's just be an awesome community. Have a nice day. Peace.
Bye.